by GraviLEE, having some initial startup lag. No problem, it'll settle down here in a minute. Let us go ahead and introduce the players. Over here playing as the awesome Inquisitor Imperial Guard is FOS GraviLEE himself or herself. Still haven't quite figured that one out yet. And over here is he's going to be teamed up with the Farseer Eldar player Lindonen. We're going to call him Lin for the time being, and they're going to be going up against the blue team, which is Adilla, the blue Eldar Warp Spider Exarch, and over here Rags, no, can't read the rest of that, don't care, Chaos Lord, Chaos Space Marine race. And as you can see over here, the Chaos Lord already wanting to get stuck in quite heavily with the Eldar. Not sure if this is a good idea or not. He would do very well to be supported, but unfortunately it looks like, yep, he's going to get forced back fairly easily. The Farseer being able to tie up those Chaos Space Marines very easily. You can see over here GraviLEE sending his Sentinel out first to take the damage and then letting his Guardsman repair on the back of it. A very good strategy. I implore you guys to use it, because the Sentinel can be repaired for basically free, while Guardsmen must be reinforced at a cost of requisition. A very, very rough thing to deal with. Right now we have a 1-to-1 cap, 500 blue, 498 for red, and the Eldar Warp Spider Exarch coming over here and just being a jerk, hiding behind that cover, making it a lot harder for GraviLEE to get him up and out of there. You can see right here that the red team getting an early mid cap without much contest over here. Generally you see players usually on this map get together and then just mass at the center, and whoever comes out on top usually ends up taking it, but no, not this game. Going to be fighting on the sides of the map, making it a very 1 versus 1 feel for these 4 players. 498, 493. You could see that over here that Lin decided to go for a Shuriken Cannon Squad, a wonderful strategy against Chaos. Chaos tend to have a very hard time dealing with the suppression, as they can only get grenade launch heretics to deal with it. Over here you can see GraviLEE coming in, getting a good stomp off on both of those Guardian squads, or at least one of them I think, spread them out pretty thin, and surrounding them and doing as much damage as you can. You can see over here Lin even sending over his own Guardian squad to help GraviLEE deal with this Eldar army. You don't have to necessarily send your whole army to help your partner. 1 or 2 squads is, you know, can tip the favor in their balance very easily. You can see getting a gen bash off, real good gen bash off. Let's check the power gens for them back at home. No, only 2. Okay. So right now I would be suggesting for Lin to dump a lot of his requisition into these power generators, as they are not in any immediate threat of being taken down, and they very well could benefit from that additional power. I know Guardsmen do quite a bit. Lin losing a lot in tier 1, and I mean that is a bit of a problem, and for GraviLEE, as he's going to be basically having to carry the team, having lost his Sentinel. That's gotta hurt. You eventually almost always lose your Sentinel, but losing it this early, that's a bit of a, you know, sore thing to have lost. These heretics being smart, coming over there, doom blasting on that army, doing a little bit of AoE damage, but nonetheless making themselves just cost more whenever they get back to the base to replenish their ranks. Double Chaos Space Marines laying into these Guardsmen, and Chaos Lord coming up to engage those Catachans in melee. Not one of the better strategies. He can hold his own for quite a bit, but yeah, he's going to go ahead and get forced back. And you can see down here both armies, all 4 of the armies clashing in this one spot. Finally, those 3 generators down at both of their natural power generators. That Inquisitor is going to need to get out of there as soon as possible. Will she be able to without dying? I know I just said without dying, but shush. 6 HP left. That was awfully close. And you can see over here these Chaos Space Marines going to town on this generator. Well, I don't know. Will they destroy the generators, or will they try and hold on to them? So, a 2-to-1 cap for the blue team, 462, 453. Pretty painful to look at that every few seconds and see how slowly the numbers are going down. The Catachan's trying to take into some cover and deal with those Chaos Space Marines, not able to do so, getting forced back along with those guardsmen. And you can see over here that Lin being kind of sneaky, sending his Farseer out here to cap the middle victory point, forcing these Chaos Space Marines out of position, setting up a shield so they get perfect cover, but not going to matter because Khorne Worship and... oh god. Wow. That was a beautiful grenade. Unfortunately didn't show much damage. May have just lost like a sergeant or whatever it is, champion to that squad. You can see over here that the Shuriken Cannon squad basically paying for itself the entire game, keeping any enemies away from the spot. And again, Chaos tending to have a lot of problems with suppression, at least until tier 2, and then they can get something to deal with it, but kind of hard. Trying to force melee here, that's not going to work. Again, making good use of the Shuriken Cannon, definitely paying for itself. Watching its every move, because if he had just continued to target that same squad, then it most assuredly would have gotten tied up in melee. You can see that now Red Team, having lost one of their natural gen points, and not only having lost it, but actually given to the enemy, and that is a tough thing to deal with. Breaking out a Chimera, a appropriate response, I would say, to these Eldar Shuriken Cannons, able to drive behind them, unload all of the units inside, and deal the damage that they need to, also breaking that suppression. You can see over here, Chaos Lord, Combi Flamer, trying to engage these Eldar units. Not going to happen, especially with that Wraithguard on the squad. The Farseer having the Doombringer, and I have had some really bad experiences with that Doom ability. Especially as Space Marines. For some reason, the Inquisitor opting not to come over here and cap the point, probably, yeah, going back to capture their own natural power node. And this is why I say that, you know, if you ever get into your opponent's natural power generator, that it is almost always better to just destroy the generators instead of trying to capture it and take it for yourself. Because if your opponent does manage to get that point back, they just get their generators back for free, even though it can benefit you. So over here, them having some conversation in a language that I clearly don't understand. The Chaos Dreadnought out on the field for Rags. Over here, Adilla with a Bright Lance weapon team to deal with that Imperial Guard Chimera. Not really the best counter to it, with as mobile and fast as the Chimera is. It does not ensnare, and the Shuriken Cannon squads tend to be fairly immobile. But they trying to flank this Chimera, not able to do so. A level 1 Inquisitor, level 1 Farseer, level 1 Warp Spider Exarch, And level 1 Chaos Lord with Combi Flamer and the Armor of the Inferno. Ooh, very dangerous against the infantry in this game. Needs to repair that Chimera. It is dangerously low on health. Breaking out a heavy weapons squad. Will we be seeing a las cannon or will we be seeing a autocannon? Already using a las cannon squad. What will we be seeing for this? Rags going in for a fairly early tier 3. That is going to bring a lot of trouble to the red team if he can get any units out on the field for it. Using the Galaxy Burn, doing some pretty good damage to those infantry, but nonetheless being forced back off by the Eldar player Lin. Over here, you can see Chaos and Eldar alike holding down this area. GraviLEE coming in trying to break this front, and we have a Tzeentch Dreadnought. A rare breed of Dreadnought indeed. And that Mana Core is going to go down. That is the dead Mana Core. Yeah, there you go. No way that was going to get out of there. The Warp Spider Exarchs being forced back by this heavy weapon team. Kept it as a regular heavy weapon suppression team. That's kind of interesting. Adilla going for tier 3 as well. Banking a lot of resources. Could we see an Avatar of Cain? We very well might be. Stormtrooper squad coming out onto the field. Having lost his Inquisitor, I can see a very good reason for these, giving them the Melta kit. Dropping a grenade down on that Shrieking Cannon squad from a good angle. You can throw grenades over walls, but you cannot shoot over them, if that makes any sense, unless you've got like grenade launchers and lob them over. Still kind of content to sitting back in their base. These guardsmen have their Commissar Lord, Sergeant, and plasma gun upgrade, making them very deadly versus these Chaos Space Marines. Unfortunately, not engaging them. This Bright Lance team going to go down in a flash. Shuriken cannons trying to get set up and do some damage, not able to do so. These guardsmen just laying down intense amounts of fire. A smart move by GraviLEE dodging that grenade, and you could see over here the Eldar player sandwiching in the or Lin sandwiching in the other Eldar player, getting some crucial shots off with those Wraith Guards. Good job. And now they're going to take their natural victory point. Which, if you can do that, I implore you to. It definitely is worth it. And these Wraith Guard going to go to town on these setup teams, a D-cannon weapon team. That is something that you do not see nearly enough in retail. A Wraith Lord out on the field for Lin. A wonderful choice, seeing as their opponents are equipped mostly with artillery. The D weapon team, you could see just absolutely having a field day over here, firing at these guardsmen from almost too far away, doing a ton of damage. Must be careful not to damage their own units. The Imperial Guard doing a wonderful job of staying alive, but unfortunately a grenade bomb or spike on their retreat path, going to take out an entire guardsman squad. Don't know if it's really worth it at this point. I mean, no, of course it was worth it, but what I meant to say was I don't know if it's that big of a deal, considering how much units there are on the field. Guardsmen being fairly cheap. Two of the D weapon cannons doing a ton of damage to these guardsmen. This Warp Spider Exarch Going to take some pickings out of the groups as they retreat. Wraith Lord getting a Shuriken Cannon upgrade. Interesting. GraviLEE going to be pulling out another Catachan squad after having lost his last one. That is an interesting choice. Apparently either having cancelled the Stormtrooper squad or lost it. It's fairly interesting, actually. Must have missed that in all of this carnage going on. You can see the Wraith Lord right now trying to engage in all of these different directions. His Wraith Lord still here out on the field doing a ton of damage, wailing on these Chaos Space Marines. D-cannons setting up again to attack. You could see a Singularity right there, not hitting a dang thing. And blue team going to be easily forced off here with all of this Eldar firepower. Guardsman coming over here. Uh-oh. Gets nicked by the grenade, doesn't really take that much damage. Going to force melee with these Catachans, doing tons of power melee damage. So many models in there too to do such damage, forcing back those squads. I think I know why he may have gone for that, for the grenade barrage, but I question whether or not that will be cost effective for him. Eldar Cheese, Singularity going on. No! Oh god, Eldritch Storm doing a ton of damage to those guardsmen, giving those Catachans absolutely instantly, and they're in a lot of trouble right now. Red team is 320, 217 double cap for red, and you can see a fire prism coming out on the field for Adilla. That is going to be very difficult for red team to deal with, and a great unclean one coming out for Rags. That is going to be, I think, the big game changer. Will it be able to do enough damage? I know in this version of the game it is not a particularly good super unit. That is my dog barking in the background. Everybody say hi to Blackjack. He is the loudest of all of my dogs, and also the smallest somehow. Getting forced back by red team over here at their natural victory point. They should go ahead and start recapturing that back as soon as possible to buy themselves additional time. And you could see, yes, finally getting the autocannon upgrade for that heavy weapon squad. I'm sorry if I've ever called them Devastators. I'm used to the Space Marine variant. Shuriken Cannon squad setting up behind the shield. Where's that fire prism? Having already engaged possibly that autocannon squad and taken some fire from it. Great unclean one showing itself now. I hope that he's not planning on engaging it with his Wraith Lord. Doing a lot of damage to that heretic squad on retreat though. And now this great unclean one stuck out here without much support takes a disruption grenade from the Warp Spider squad. Going to take a lot of damage. Oof, those Wraith Guard shots. Finally getting some units up here to support the Warp Spider Exarch, picking up the Chaos Lord. This great unclean one already down to about half health. Farseer forcing off the Chaos Lord and the Warp Spider squad and the Bright Lance team should be enough to help deal with this great unclean one. We'll keep an eye on that. Over here, still same kind of Mexican standoff. Fire prism sitting back, D cannons sitting back, auto cannons sitting back. Wraith Lord having taken a lot of damage. This Warp Spider Exarch trying to deal with these Warp Spiders. Not going to be able to. And now Chaos using their global ability, blinding all of the units on the field, trying to get their Great Unclean One out of there. 2 Wraith Lords now, calling in an Autarch, missing the Great Unclean One, barely. And still this Fire Prism sitting back, doing really nothing, splashing on those Guardsmen, not taking out a single model. These Guardians are going to be in a lot of trouble if they stand here much longer. So, nope, not able to take them out, but... Oh wait, did they go down? Nope, they're still, looks like they're still alive. A Chaos Predator out here on the field using Galaxy Burn. Not on a very good choice of units. Ogryns coming out with their Bonehead leader, able to get up against this. Oh no, big mistake. Should have continued to keep hitting that, but unfortunately did not. And you can see over here the Eldar creeping around this side, getting ready to engage the Chaos player at an unfavorable angle for the Chaos player. Those 2 Wraith Lords going to be scary. And, ooh, losing that Fire Prism, not paying for itself, taking a lot of damage, and the Great Unclean One barfing on this Eldar blob, summoning in an Autarch as well, losing one of the squads. Which one was that? That must have been a, oh, the Brightlands team. Ouch. Though, not that big of a critical loss. The entire Eldar blob getting forced off, as well as the Guardsmen, but Guardsmen coming right back. They bounce back fairly quickly from a lot of damages. Hat being the fastest to reinforce, period. These Guardsmen taking a lot of Shuriken fire to the face. Will they retreat before it's too late? They will, thanks to that Autarch especially. Mark of Corn, or Corn Worship on this Great Unclean One, making him seem a lot fitter than he actually is. Getting him some good exercise, protein shake. Ogryns forcing off those D weapon cannon teams. 3 D cannon weapon teams. That is an incredible amount. 290 to 166. Red team recapping all of the points. Capture all of the points. Warp Spider Exarch trying to pick up the Chaos Lord. No dice. It seems like everyone's kind of just starved for resources at this point. And you see a Tzeentch Chaos Predator. This is really interesting because he's made a lot of choices like that, going for the Mark of Tzeentch stuff. Not really sure what the inspiration behind it is. I mean, those Wraith Lords on the field might be sufficient reason, but I feel like at this point he just needs more longevity or more outward DPS. Coming in here with the Great Unclean One, taking a lot of shots from that autocannon team, missing horribly, and using both of his abilities at once. These autocannon guys not giving a single crap, but will they go down? Yes, they will. Yep, they're dead. They died. Poor and unfortunate Guardsmen. This Autarch over here tying up these Wraith Lords. Apparently Wraith Lords not absolute crap in melee. Whether it be because they are absolutely tough. And as I say that, 2 models go down. Will they be able to get away? It looks like it. Wraith Lord over here, he's pissed at the Great Unclean One for chopping away at those Wraith Guard. Out for blood. Great Unclean One at a low amount of health. But having a lot more support than this Wraith Lord is, and ooh, those D weapon cannon teams really hurting. Will this Wraith Lord be able to get out of here with its life? Seems unlikely. But no, actually, red team coming back and re-supporting it with another Wraith Lord, or the other Wraith Lord. Suppression team, and surprisingly not reinforcing this Wraith Guard team. Realizes that at the last moment, sent it back home to reinforce. And yeah, right now kind of just a crazy stalemate. This las cannon team could be moved up to help support a lack of synergy right now between GraviLEE and Lin. The blue team obviously having much better communication, and as I like to say, teamwork is OP. This Autarch going to be able to do a ton of damage to these Chaos Marines, as well as the Wraith Lord losing 2 models, losing a 3rd one. That's going to cost him quite a bit to reinforce back at home. And a 1-0 cap, 202, 111, quickly switching that over right as I say it, of course. A 0-1 cap. And you can see over here getting all of the victory points again. Can they hang on? This is a game of longevity now, no longer a game of who can win. The Wraith Lord getting the Wraith Bone upgrade, healing itself back up to full health. That's great, because I always like it when enemy walkers heal themselves up to full HP. Alright, and you can see over here Wraith Lord holding down that point while the Eldar trying to capture over here Adilla. Will he be able to do it? Not a chance. Does decap it though. Chaos Lord coming in to do the same thing. I really don't know why this is happening the way that it is. They should be supporting, but they are not, even in the least. And that Chaos Predator, Zinch, easily taking out that Wraith Lord, able to kite it around, do a lot of damage. Whew. Sorry, kinda lost my voice. Anyway, Ogren's over here getting suppressed. Please get out of there. Ogren's, run. I always feel bad when I kill an Ogren because it's like killing something stupid. It just doesn't know. Getting a 1-1 cap, 140 to 100. This game could still go on longer yet. Wraith Lord getting in close with this Fire Prism, a big mistake for Adilla. However, even bigger mistake walking into that las cannon team. That is a dead Fire Prism, and breaking out another DD cannon team. This is the silliest build I think I've ever seen, hoping to artillery the enemy team to death, and that is obviously not going to pan out very well for him. I promise, I haven't seen the end of this video. It's the first time I've casted it. Great Unclean One being used to amazing effect, surprisingly. The Bloodletters teleporting over here behind the guardsmen. Will they be able to get the whole squad? Depends. No, not able to, but very, very close. Doing some good damage and losing the second Wraith Lord. Ouch. That Zinch Predator is on a roll right now, almost to level 3. If you haven't shat bricks yet, you should be. double las cannon squad or las cannon teams laying some hurt down on that great unclean one. This one apparently just barely out of range. And an inferno bomb in the middle of those chaos units, forcing them to retreat. Ogrins, will they go down? No, they will not. Barely staying alive. Very lucky for GraviLEE. Let me know if you guys like the music in the background. I usually have it off for the purposes that it gets kind of annoying for me to listen to for an extended amount of time. But if you guys like it, then you know, I will leave it on for my casts. A webway gate over here for the Eldar to easily get to and fro. Kind of retreats there, and not exactly sure why. Does he get the barf off? No, he misses pretty badly. The Eldar Farseer fully kitted out. Armor of Assyrian, Spirit Stones to heal. And you could see this Autarch coming in. No, why did you stop? Why? A 2-to-1 cap for, well, no longer a 1-to-1 cap. 115-45. Red team coming down here, desperately trying to recap this point. Will those guardsmen stay alive? Those D-weapon teams, ouch. Only the Commissar left. And he finally breaks and runs. Though I am sure he didn't want to. Those las cannon teams doing a fantastic job of keeping that Tzeentch Predator at bay. And right as I say that, he comes up and snipes one of the models from the Shuriken cannon squad. This Chaos Lord taking a lot of punishment, trying to forcefully cap that. A singularity going off. Not going to do very much. And you can see over here that these Ogrins... What the... Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that thing. Freezing them. Then the Ogrins come out. They are pissed. And they are all heavy melee against this one poor and unfortunate Warp Spider Exarch. He is not going to be able to win that battle. Although, almost does. Ends up teleporting away. You can see the overcharged Stormtrooper squad laying a lot of hurt down for these Shuriken weapon cannons. Now, this is something that a lot of players put down as the great utility of the Stormtroopers. Yeah, they are soft, and yeah, they are kind of expensive. But if you use them properly, like you just saw there, you can win games fairly easy. That Chaos Predator eating it in the face, pretty sure, by a las cannon shot. And you could see these Bloodletters getting in here with the Autarch, being supported by these Guardians and the Farseer. A Fire Prism out, switching over to the Focus Blast, I'm guessing, yes. And getting too close to this Great Unclean One, 16-45, getting very close down to the wire. Over here, trying to recapture this as fast as possible. Will these Ogrins and Guardsmen be able to stop the Warp Spider Exarch? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. They do not have their Bonehead leader. Getting suppressed, taking a lot of damage. And the Avatar of Cain out on the field, just kind of wandering into my view, you know, letting me know that it is indeed there. And walks over to the victory point. 9-33. An epic game indeed. GraviLEE did mention that this was an epic game, and knowing him, her, I am inclined to believe that with utmost diligence. And getting frozen there, the Eldar Adila obviously not wanting any sort of decapping going on. Eldar, Warp Spider, Exarch going down. A Eldritch Storm absolutely just massacring the Eldar Lyn army. Losing his squad. Guardians fairly cheap at this point. Doesn't matter. It might. But with the armies being as huge as they are. A Inferno Bomb going off again. And now it's blood everywhere. Units killing units. War. And the Avatar of Cain doing a lot of damage to allied units. As well as enemies alike. Taking shots from that las cannon team. Getting snared. I'm not sure what armor class the Avatar of Cain actually is. I think it is super heavy. And you can see right here Lyn popping off. I forget what ability that is, but it prevents anything from really attacking, doing anything. Getting the cap, but losing the Farseer in the process. Only 3 seconds left, and Lyn calls the GG. A little bad-mannered, but correct nonetheless. An incredibly close game. Now, if you noticed that even though they the opponents had their super units out on the field, and Lyn and GraviLEE did not, they still made things happen by dancing around the opponent's super units and avoiding contact with them directly and making, you know, things like sneaking in stormtroopers behind the lines, dealing some damage, dropping a Bane Wolf and attacking over here. That is basically how you soft counter these super heavies. You do not have to engage them directly and kill them the very second they enter the field, or at all if you can continually force them back, though it is preferred if you get rid of them as soon as possible. And you can see right here GraviLEE never even touching tier 3, and Lyn barely touching anything in tier 3, but making great use of the stormtroopers and the las cannon teams at all times, except for maybe this group. This one kind of sat here forever. And in the early game you could see that how much it affected them to lose one of their natural power nodes. Something that, again, can snowball out of control. And level 9, level 8, level 3, and a level 10 Farseer. This Farseer carried her weight the entire game, even though she is one of, like, the least used heroes, I feel like, for the Eldar. Very powerful support. Well, I think that's about all my voice can handle right now. Great and wonderful game. I was really glad that GraviLEE sent this to me so I could cast it. Got up this morning and was like, I wonder, did anybody email me anything? Yes, it did. So, definitely a wonderful game. Some examples you can take from this game, if you watch closely enough. Again, I am not particularly used to commentating in this form, and I will try and get better about it. I know there was a ton of stuff that I did miss. I mainly focusing on what's going on right here as opposed to what's going on down here, and we'll try and get better about that. But yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like. I will be posting my email down below, so you can send me more replays if you would like me to cast them. And if there's anything, you know, you'd like to suggest, and also real quick, I did put out a 20th subscriber special video. If you are new and you haven't quite find that, look through my channel, find the video, and vote on what you want for me to do for my 20th subscriber special. Really haven't gotten that resolved yet. By either thumbing up a comment or leaving a suggestion yourself, and I implore those of you who have already seen that video and already voted to continue to look through that and see if there are any new suggestions that you may like and may want to thumb up, or if there are any other suggestions that maybe you've come up with at some other time and would like to see if any of the other subscribers would like to thumbs up as well. And if you love the video, go ahead and subscribe. There will be plenty more videos for you to come. I have been just absolutely giddy lately. It seems like every time I put out a video, I get another subscriber. I am up to 27 subscribers. That is incredible in the short amount of time that I have been doing this. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. This is I Sincere. Remember how it's said, or I'll hate you for it, and I'll catch you partners later.